Hello and welcome to another video. So today I will be planning out the month of September in my new Plum Paper Daily Planner. I am still using the Plum Paper subscription kit, which I am flipping through here. Still really love them, going to keep using them, and I really like this kit in particular because of the teal. So September, October, and November have kind of a bluish green teal color scheme associated with them, and it's my favorite of the four kinds of broad colors that Plum Paper uses in their planner page things, their color palette. This one is one of my favorites. So I really liked this kit, and this is my first time working in my new planner. So August will end my previous 6-month daily planner. This planner is a new 6-month daily that I recoiled with a A5 vertical priorities. So I have my daily pages and my weekly pages, plus some notes pages all coiled into this notebook, and this is the first time that I'm really planning in here. And starting next week, or the week after, a couple of weeks, you will see me planning in the weekly pages of this as well. So I'm very excited about that. For the kit, I am starting by just laying down my basic kind of elements, the headers at the top, the days of the week across the top right underneath, and then these little red date dot corner things. And I usually put them all down for one page and then flip over to the other side and put them all down for the next page. One thing that's annoying about this in particular is that you have all of the date dots in this little corner here, and reaching the ones that are farther into the page, for whatever reason, I find really difficult without bending the page too much and then like risking ruining some of the other stickers, or at least bending them. That's like a weird thing I've noticed, is that it's hard to reach them. I don't know exactly why that is, but it's the one thing that makes this step kind of challenging, but it all works out here in a second. And then I had a comment on one of my, it was actually a couple months ago, videos for this sticker kit. I mentioned that I use a permanent marker because I had smudged a sticker, and someone asked if these stickers were glossy. Technically, they are not glossy. They are matte. And if you write with a gel pen, it will work. They'll dry eventually, but it's also a very slick matte. It's like the Plum Paper paper. The Plum Paper paper isn't glossy, but it is slick, and so you can smudge things on it if you aren't really careful. And that's kind of what this paper reminds me of. Their sticker paper is thick, and it's very, very smooth, even if it's not shiny like a typical glossy sticker. So it's technically matte, but if you aren't careful, it is easy to smudge anything that you write directly on a sticker. So I've kind of transitioned to just using my Sakura Micro permanent fine liner for these stickers, because otherwise I have to wait and be really careful, and it's just not worth it. Like, I can use this pen. I have it. I got it in a Simply Gilded subscription box. So when I start writing, those are the two pens that I use. I use the Sakura Pigma Micro Perm, and then I use a Villa Beautiful pen in this video. I also noticed that it seems like they added more colors of dots on this little sheet. Usually I think they have like 4 different colors, but this month there were 5, and it was weird. It threw me a little bit because I'm used to having like a set of 15 dots, I think, and then a set of 12, and then a couple of 9 dots. But here we got a set of 12 and then lots of sets of 9 dots in different colors. And some of those I barely had enough of. I used the yellow dots for bills and then these red dots for YouTube videos. And at the time that I was filming this, I hadn't decided exactly what I wanted my Friday uploads to be. So I'm only going to fill in the Monday videos because those are always just a simple weekly plan with me. And then some other time I will go in and actually finalize my Friday video schedule. And here I'm going in with all my bills, referencing my previous monthly, and just making sure that everything gets in here. And I really like these dots in particular because I will check them off when I've paid them. So sometimes I'll pay a bill early And when that happens, I just check it off so that I remember as the date is coming up. Yes, that bill wasn't due until that date, but I already paid it. So if I can pay a bill early, I pay it as soon as I get paid so that I don't have to worry about it at all. Like, I know all my bills have been paid, and any money left in my account is money that I can spend on groceries or whatever I need. And everything that has to be taken care of has been. But I also, in this calendar, keep track of the due date for bills. Just in case something comes up and I can't pay a bill immediately, I know by when I have to pay it. So that's what the dots are, and so I check them off. I also check off my YouTube videos as they happen, and I like the dots. I really feel like they're the perfect size for this size planner and to have it as a little checklist kind of place. So I'm going in and I'm adding in my bills. Things like rent, my Fairy Loot subscription, my credit card, student loans, plum paper, and car insurance. So this is the first full car insurance payment I've had since I signed up for car insurance for the first time in July. The company I'm using has this like forgiveness program because people aren't driving as much because of the pandemic. So they put a credit to my account, and that credit was last month, which means that I paid for a month when I signed up. Last month's bill was super small because of that credit, and then this month they're coming for me again with my full payment amount. So I had to keep that in mind. Then things like my internet and cell phone bill, Spotify, stuff like that. We have also started to use Subscribe and Save on Amazon for our coffee. We get coffee pretty regularly. My boyfriend and I both drink it pretty much every day, and so we're always having to buy more coffee, and we finally decided to try the Subscribe and Save because for a while we weren't sure what our coffee schedule really was, but it's kind of settled in, and we feel like about every 2 weeks is a good timeline for us, and so we finally signed up for that. So I marked it with the little coffee cups that came in the kit. I marked that National Coffee Day was on the 29th, which I didn't know existed, but I had a sticker for it. Up at the top, I put symbols to keep track of how much I spent on gas this month, how much I spent on laundry, and how much I spent on groceries, because that's something that I'm trying to keep a bit more track of. I put a no work sticker down on Labor Day, but otherwise I did white out all the holidays. I do not celebrate most holidays. I really just celebrate like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and then birthdays. So the important thing for me on the 7th was that we didn't have school that day. And then September is a really big birthday month for me and like people that I know. My parents both have birthdays in this month. I have an aunt that has a birthday in this month, a cousin, one of my dogs has a birthday in this month, and then I marked all of those with these candles, but forgot and have to add later that my boyfriend has a niece who has a birthday in this month. So there's a total of like 6 birthdays in the month of September. It's wild. Like, I don't know that many people that I celebrate their birthday, and yet of those few people that exist, so many of them have their birthday in September. The other big month is October because my boyfriend's dad and 2 sisters all have their birthdays in October. So September and October are big birthday months. I use the date night sticker on the 10th just to mark that is when my boyfriend and I always celebrate our month anniversary. Then the 15th is my next payday. So someone told me when I got hired that I would get paid on the 1st of the month. And then I recently learned that no, the pay schedule is actually the 15th, which is a very dramatic difference because my last paycheck for my previous contract is August the 20th. So I'm used to getting paid on the 20th and the 5th, and now I'm getting paid on August the 20th, and then not again until September the 15th, which is a long time. So that's interesting. That'll be interesting. So I really wanted to make sure I kept track of that. Then I had so many extra things to put in this month because classes have started. The school year has started. So I have meetings on Thursday afternoons, and they're kind of late. The school day ends at 3:30, but faculty and department meetings are on Zoom. so that we don't all have to congregate, which means that we're given time to get home and logged on to Zoom, and faculty meetings are at 4:15, which is weird and feels late. But I had one such meeting on the 10th, and then on the 10th, this like 3-week kind of mini semester program thing that my school does ends, and the official fall semester regular course schedule thing starts on the 14th, so I also had to mark that. And then I misplaced this pink sticker that says homecoming on the 11th. That actually belongs in the 18th, and I moved that in a little bit. But I don't know what that's going to look like this year. It's just, I copied that from the faculty calendar. So we'll see exactly what the details of that are. And then on the 17th, I had so many things that I used this little checklist. The 17th was my dog's birthday, a coffee delivery, I had a bill due. That's when the current back to school night is scheduled for. I had 2 meetings because it's marked as a late start day, and when we have late start, that means that we use the morning for faculty meetings, and then students come in later and classes start later. But then in the afternoon, I had a different meeting, and then grades were due for our first grading period. So it didn't even all fit. And the way I handled that was I put the checklist on the 18th, but then this arrow sticker prompting me to note that this is all stuff for the 17th. So when I go into plan this week, I have to keep that in mind and make sure that those events get put on the right day. Here I'm realizing that I put the homecoming sticker in the wrong spot, so I'm fixing that. And I noticed that because the homecoming dance is for the 19th. And I don't know how that works. I don't know exactly what the chaperoning responsibilities are for teachers at my new school, but I wanted to make sure I was aware of that in case they needed me to be somewhere or do something. And I think I've caught up with myself. On the sidebar thing, I put a little to-do section, but that's just for some notes. I mostly am caught up. Then on the 24th, I also had a couple of things, so I used another little checklist. They wanted to note that that's when some training modules I have online are due, and there was another meeting that was happening on the 24th. Then on the 28th, I'm marking that we don't have any school on the 28th for Yom Kippur. I don't know anything about that holiday. I know that Plum Paper had that holiday marked on the 27th, but we have no school on the 28th. So I'm not sure how it's celebrated or what all happens on it, but for some reason we don't have school on that Monday. So I'm not sure how that works. I'll have to do some Googling. And then here I'm making little numbers on these dots 1 through 5 to mark on my calendar what the rotation schedule is like at my school, because technically we would have just a regular Monday through Friday schedule that wouldn't change. But because of the pandemic and because we're doing like a hybrid schedule thing, we don't have just Monday schedule, Tuesday schedule, because things are shifted. We have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5, etc. schedules, and so I'm marking which days are a day 1 schedule, a day 2 schedule, a day 3 schedule, so that I can keep that in mind. Something to note is that while things like my bills and my YouTube channel and birthdays are personal events that never get put into my teacher planner, a lot of school events will get put in my teacher planner and in my personal planner because I have to organize personal things around it. Like if I needed to schedule an appointment or something, I need to know that Thursday afternoons are when I have faculty meetings, and so I probably shouldn't schedule anything for those days. And that's why those get put in my personal planner, and that's why this is so full, because there are quite a few meetings and things happening. Over on the right, I put a full box quote sticker that says, "Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go." And then on the 6th, I put a full box sticker that says, "Wake up with determination, go to bed with satisfaction." And then the 30th and the 12th also get a couple of blank full box stickers, which is nice because I can go back and write things in if they appear, if anything happens on those days. Something I really like about the Plum Paper monthly subscription stickers are that the paper is removable. So I always put down all of my date dots so that I can see where everything is, and I can also organize around the date dots. And then if I do want to put a full box sticker somewhere where I have a date dot, I can easily peel it up, put the box down, and then put the sticker back on. It's brilliant. And so for this tabbed notes page, I stole this idea from LJ Jumble. She has a YouTube channel and an Etsy shop. And she recently did a social media planner setup where she repurposed this dashboard page with this YouTube video tracker thing. And she listed it as a printable on her sticker shop. And I immediately hopped over there and I bought it, and I'm going to use it here. I also learned from that video this technique for applying a very large sticker where you only peel up the bottom so that you can get it straight onto the page, and then as you peel up the rest, it kind of falls right where it should, and you don't have to worry about getting things in weird spots. So I really liked that idea. I loved this sticker because this chart at the bottom I drew in for August on a notes page and hated it. I didn't like the way it came out. It was in a weird spot. This dashboard page is a really good place for me to put this information, and it has the added benefit of putting this matte sticker paper on top of the glossy tab. So that means that I don't have to worry about writing on this page with a Sharpie. I can just write on it with whatever pen I want. It's so nice. It's such a good idea. I'll link her channel down below so that you can see what else she did with this page. She has 2 printables, and I only took 1 page from it. So there's another page that she has outlined with more ideas, and like if you had a slightly bigger YouTube business type of thing and needed more note space for it, she has other templates for that. But this is what I took from that file, and I love it. And then I added some headers to tie it into my monthly sticker theme, and so I kept basically the same headings that she had. I just covered it so that I could add some more color. Also on this like chart, one of the sections is for video tags. I don't really tag my videos very deliberately. I just tack on a couple when I post. So I changed that to end screen because I've recently been trying to add an end screen to my videos, and I very often forget to go into the YouTube editor and make sure that that setting is on. So I changed that up. Over on the other page, this is new. I did not just get the vertical priorities planner. I got the vertical priorities goals planner. And so here I am filling in a few different sections. So on big things happening this month, I wanted to note that fall courses were going to start. There were many birthdays to keep track of, and I had a new pay schedule to follow and budget around. Then there's this section that says steps I can take to, and then there are several prompts. So the first one is have better self-care. I wrote maintain a new mood tracking app that I got. I want to make sure I'm updating that this month. To be healthier, I put maintain my August sleep schedule. If you were here in June, I talked very frequently about how I was having a really hard time having a consistent sleep schedule. And now my job has forced me to wake up at 7 every day. Like, that's what I have to do to get to work on time. But what it doesn't force me to do is go to bed on time and get 8 hours of sleep. And I actually have been doing that. I am asleep by 11 o'clock pretty much every single night for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And it's been so nice. So I want to maintain that in September. Then the next thing is challenge myself, and for that I put apply to a master's scholarship or grant. There's a master's of education program that I want to participate in probably in the spring, and they send me updates on grant and scholarship opportunities, and I want to actually follow up on one of those this month. And then lastly, make myself proud. I want to pre-plan my first and second units for geometry before we get to the fall rotations period. I'm using vocabulary that, like, if you're not at my school, you might not be familiar with, but don't worry about the specifics. Just know that I want to get ahead on my planning. That's my goal. My big goal is to prepare for the driving road test. I am 23. I took driver's ed when I was 16, and I don't have my driver's license. And it is so inconvenient for my boyfriend to have to drive with me every time I go to work, and it's just wastes gas because we have to drive back and forth twice, when if I could drive myself, I would only have to drive to and from once. So it's really, really at the top of my priority list to get my license soon, so that I can just take the car to work and we don't have to drive back and forth all the time. So I put lots of different steps towards that in the mini goals section. So when it comes to setting your month's goal, you put the big one at the top, and then there are 5 spaces for mini goals. And so mini goals that I've outlined on my way to taking the road test is to drive to and from school every day. I did that for the first time a week straight this past week. Then I need to practice parking in a parking lot. I can kind of park, but I'm not very good at it, and I just need to take some time to go into a parking lot and do it over and over and over again until I am better at it. Drive on a highway. I don't have to take a highway to work, and they scare me, so I need to practice that very deliberately in the upcoming month. Practice the maneuverability course. I am in Ohio, and part of the driving testing in Ohio is this really particular course that they have you drive through forwards and backwards. So I need to figure out how to make a mock setup of that course so that I can practice it in particular, and then get comfortable filling the gas tank. Gas stations freak me out, and I'm just like terrified that something's going to explode, and I just need to learn how to take out gas safely, and like it won't be that big a deal, like it shouldn't be a big deal. Anyway, then at the very, very bottom, there's a place for you to write a monthly phrase to live by, and for that I picked a quote that I googled that felt applicable, and it says, "It's all about finding the calm in the chaos," and that felt super, super relevant to keep in mind, especially as things really get going at work in the month of September. And that was by Donna Karan. I did some Googling. I think she's a fashion designer of some sort, but she wasn't someone I was familiar with before finding this quote. The last thing I'm doing here is going all the way to my second monthly spread. The monthly spread I just worked on was the one from the Vertical Priorities Planner that I coiled into this planner. This spread is from the daily planner that I coiled into this planner, and I'm using this specifically for spending tracking. So while I have my bills outlined on my previous monthly, this one I set up just for tracking spending, and so you can see that I've color-coded on the sidebar bills, groceries, fun, and other. And my intention is if I spend money in a day, I will just jot down in that color how much I spent and what I spent it on. It will give me a bigger picture look at where I'm putting my money, and also keep track of when I've paid certain things, because the other calendar keeps the big picture idea of where my bills are due, and here I want to combine that information with all my other more variable spending kinds of things like groceries, and if I do something for fun and that kind of thing. So that's what this section is for. And that setup was super quick, super simple, not a ton to be done there. And now I'm just flipping through what I did. So this is my spread for September. Honestly, it looks super busy and kind of crowded, but that's the way things worked out. There's a lot happening or scheduled to happen. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.